Hi, Juan Stars and fellow YouTubians. Thank you for joining me tonight for another segment of Tea with the Universe. And thank you to Callista for graciously joining me last minute because of my last minute cancellation. So,
Hey
welcome,
guys.
Callista. Tell us what's going on in the land of Bean.
What is going on in the land of Bean? Last time I was on Tea with the Universe was over Christmas, and I was in Edmonton, spending time with family, and now I'm back living in Nelson in the Kootenays, and things have been really good. It's been really good weather, nice winter here.
Anything interesting going on in the land of Bean?
In the land of Bean. Yeah, well, as you guys know, I have a corner segment in the Weekly Wand called Callista's Corner, where I share my thoughts and experiences, or as you said, whatever is going on in the land of Bean. And my most recent submission is just about manifestation because I woke up one morning just feeling good, and I've just been riding that wave ever since, and I've been getting positive rewards from it. And so just finding that good mind state and trying to ride the wave and turn that spark into a flame. So that's kind of what's been going on with me.
Yeah, that's in our February 1st issue, our January 18th issue, which I spoke about Monday on Wake Up with the Wand, is your meditation
Yeah.
issue. So,
Yeah.
um,
If you guys want any encouraging pieces, I recommend you read that one because that's what I was going for.
it is very encouraging. And so you were just telling us about, this wave that you're riding and this energy and your sleeps. And do you want to elaborate on that and tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Sure. So I'm not even 100% about what's going on, but it's been a little weird. The past few nights, I have had a really hard time sleeping, and I'm not sure why. I will look at the time, and hours have gone past, in which feels like 5 minutes. And basically, my eyes are open, but I feel like I'm asleep. And I'm I look around me, and nothing's familiar. It's not my bedroom. My mind just goes someplace else. And after doing some research, I'm pretty sure it could be astral projection or some form of it, because it's not just my mind goes somewhere else, but my body feels super odd, like it's being stretched across the universe, and just feels like my body is dissolving, and as if I'm falling or going, you know? And yeah, I just see color combinations I've never seen before, and it's as if I'm swimming through a pool of DNA. I don't know, but it's been really interesting, and I wake up in the morning feeling like I'm well rested, even though I didn't sleep. So that's kind of what's going on.
How exciting.
Yeah, and I know you can relate to that as well, which just makes us a bunch of weirdos because you
I
understood completely when I first told you about it.
don't know if it makes us weirdos. I think it makes us extra special. And with everything that's going on, this is the age of Aquarius. People are waking up, they're coming into their gift. I think maybe that's what's going on. You're being more accepting and
Yeah,
allowing your gifts to manifest.
it's as if, my eyes are open, but I think it's my third eye that's really opening and taking me on those adventures.
So, how does it feel?
I like it. It feels really good. I mean, the next morning I just feel crisp and open to new things and optimistic.
Is it fast? Like, do you feel like you're moving quickly, slowly? Can you control it?
I can't control it. I'd say more on the slower side.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you
How would
spoke,
you,
pardon me?
I was going to say, how would you describe yours?
I can control mine now for the most part. Sometimes I can't, but it depends on where I'm going. Sometimes I go so fast, it's almost like I'm standing still. And sometimes, like, it's so quickly that I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Huh.
And other times it's so slow. Again, it feels like I'm standing still, but it's two different kind of standing stills, if that makes sense.
And do you do this every night, or do you pick and choose when you do it, or does it just happen?
I used to be able to pick and choose. Now it just happens when it happens. And I don't always remember in the morning. However, I do remember while it's happening, and I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be like, oh, that was awesome. And then seconds later, I forget.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been having weird dreams as well, like about beautiful sunsets and the ocean and just being in these beautiful scenic places, but it's not too long after before I forget.
Speaking of dreams, I was telling Brian earlier today that the only thing I remember about my dream really last night is that you and I were going to see a giraffe.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny because I watched all the Madagascars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is interesting.
And you know Melman the giraffe.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like living a day in the life of Bean is pretty interesting these days.
It has been, yeah. I mean, on a spiritual note, for sure. And um, yeah, I don't try to do this. It's just been happening on its own. So,
Well, I was reading today, and the less you try and the more you ground, the more apt you are to having experiences like this. So, do you find that you're more grounded lately?
perhaps.
Are you doing anything differently that you may want to share with people that want to ground or want to go journeying?
Well, like I said, I've been on this wave of manifestation and good vibes and optimism. So, I mean, a little while ago, I was having a hard time with lack of energy, being lethargic, feeling lost, and then just like I said in Callista's Corner, I just woke up crisp one morning and then have been manifesting that energy ever since. And I think that could be the difference. But initially, I don't know what started it. I just woke up and I felt good one day and held on to that.
That's awesome. And again, that will be in the February 1st issue that isn't out yet, but it will be.
Yeah.
Um, I love that.
Yeah. I think it's good and it's the start of something really nice. Maybe I'll be able to control it sometime soon as well.
Yeah. And even if you can't, I love the fact that it's something you and I can share.
Yeah. Have,
It's,
have you
it's
ever spoken to Devin and asked him if he has any of those experiences?
no,
Hmm.
I haven't. I should. We should. We should
Yeah.
have a chat with him and see.
I wouldn't be surprised. I
I
think
wouldn't
he
either
has.
because I mean, but his gifts are different than ours. As much as ours are different, we have a lot of similarities. Whereas Devin has the ability to see spirits, right? We see energies. I don't see
Yeah.
spirits. I can feel them. And occasionally I get a glimpse of forms, like human forms.
Yeah.
But I would never say that those are spirits. Those are more energy based to me.
Yeah, I agree. I've never seen spirits before, or
Yeah, like there's a difference, and I can't confidently say that I've ever seen a spirit. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Maybe writing Callista's Corner did trigger something on her creative side that allows your brain to travel.
yeah, maybe.
And I mean, I feel that you um I've never asked you to hide who you are. I've always encouraged you to show your true colors and to be as weird as you are or as beanie as you are. And so when you came to me the first time to tell me about it, I was so excited. I mean, we spoke about this last time. I know you felt my excitement.
Oh yeah, I did. You completely finished my sentence before I could even tell you that I could see energy.
Yeah, like it was almost as if, hi Colleen. Right, Ryan. Yeah, it is cool. It was almost as if I had been waiting an eternity for you to join me on that journey.
Yeah, but and you had never spoken to me about it, so I
No.
think I kickstarted your journey as well.
Yeah, you and Devin thought I was weird enough. You actually think I was going to tell you I saw and felt energy?
Well, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that, and then yeah, we definitely bonded over it.
Yeah, and then it stopped for a while and now it's back but on a deeper level, and I'm so excited to follow you on this journey and to even have you write about it in the wand and just share this with everyone else, because I know there are so many people out there waking up that maybe don't understand what's going on, and for you to be waking up at the same time as them, you can share your journey and it feels like home,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep, and I've been doing lots of yoga lately, and I think that contributes as well to opening up a deeper side of me and my third eye, because it yoga and meditation really centers you. And
absolutely.
yeah,
I'm so grateful that, I mean, I knew the day would come. I knew when you and Devin were born that you both had gifts. I just didn't know what they were.
yeah. You had mentioned, I think, that Devin was an indigo child, right?
Right. But after doing more research, I think I was mistaken. I believe he's more of a star seed than an indigo child.
Oh, I'll have to look that up. I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, definitely look it up. That could be something that you could write about in Callista's Corner.
Yep.
Let me see. I'm going to look up on my phone quickly and see if there's like a, what is a, so here's 13 signs you're a star seed. You're purposeful. You may even call it an existential kink. You're prone to saying, I want to go home. You are sufferingly empathetic. You are hyper perceptive. I can't even read.
I like sufferingly empathetic. I like that.
Yeah. You might have a photographic memory. You are naturally punk rock. You're an insightful problem solver. You resent feeling disappointed or bored. Your inner thermostat is set to wonky. And you were a solitary child. Oh, there's more. You're irresistible to little children and animals. And you lived through a traumatic event or series of events. And you're a crazy mystical being. And you have prophetic dreams, perhaps have UFO sightings, and have conversations with otherworldly creatures. So Deb you fall into some of those categories. I fall into some of those categories. Deb falls into some of those categories. But I don't necessarily think you're a star seed or that I'm a star seed. I really feel that Devin is more of that.
And do you find, so a photographic memory isn't necessarily that you remember everything, just you can relive it in your brain. You can see it. Or do you think a photographic memory is you remember everything?
Well, when I was young, and you can ask Grandma and Grandpa about this, over the years, I guess I just got lazy and stopped using it or forgot how. I don't believe I forgot how, but when I was younger, I could remember every single thing that I ever saw. Even in a book, I could read a book and Grandma could go, "What is the word on line 8, page 12?" 3 words in, and I could tell her.
Holy.
Yeah, that's when I was young, and I'm not sure what happened. Maybe something traumatic, maybe something that I'm blocking out because I've been working with that, trying to remember a lot of things that I just don't remember.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the reason is that I'm not like that anymore. Because now, I mean, I still have a good memory, as you and Devin can attest to.
Yeah.
It's just not as in depth as it was. It's just not the same anymore.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to pause for 1 minute.
How come?
My phone is at 1%, so I need to run and grab my charger. So I'll be right back. Tell them a little bit more about your photographic memory.
Well, I've pretty much said it all, but you know what? I will look up the meaning of a photographic memory so that then we can see if what you're talking about is the same. So, an eidetic, more commonly called photographic memory, is the ability to recall an image from memory with high precision for a brief period after seeing it only once and without using a mnemonic device. So, what were you saying that you feel like that you don't remember everything, but you relive moments?
Well, I was just gonna get into, I'm not sure if everybody's memory is like this, but when I think back to a memory, it plays as a movie in my head. Whereas
Grandma is here. Yeah, Grandma just said, I had a fantastic memory. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Grandma.
Sorry, what were you saying, Bean?
Just that when I have a memory, like when I think thoughts, I see them play as a movie in my head, whereas I don't know if everybody has that or not.
I think,
like
well, I don't know if
visual.
it plays for everyone as a movie. I know for me it does. Like when I think about things, it's like I'm watching it as an outsider, watching it replay.
Yeah.
So is that what you mean?
Yeah, sort of.
Can you change it if you want? If you don't like the way it's going, can you alter the memory?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can see the comments, like if anybody's watching this that doesn't necessarily have that, you should comment, just because I'm curious. I mean, there's even people who don't have an inner monologue.
There are people that don't.
And that's just really crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't
when they
understand
read
that
a book,
either.
They don't, how do I describe this? Like they don't have an inner voice when they read. And I watched an interview with somebody who talks about how they read books, and they basically put the words together like a pattern. They don't need to, and they just understand it, their inner voice isn't reading it to them.
That makes no sense to me.
I know.
Brian, what don't you have? You don't have an inner voice, or you don't replay movies when you think back? Like when you recall a memory? Yeah, that is so interesting because, and another thing is with me, I don't hear voices. when I'm recalling, I have a voice that speaks, like when I'm thinking to myself. But for the most part, it's all telepathy. Like when I dream, there's no talking. Everybody reads minds. And it's been that way since I was a child. I know I used to talk in my sleep, but the visions, the people, the entities in my dreams don't use words. It's always telepathy.
Yeah, I find it interesting too because I can look at somebody in the eyes and sometimes we can just understand each other. Like I feel like I can read people's minds just by looking in their eyes and their facial expressions. So
Like if you're grocery shopping and you're at one end of the aisle and let's say someone else like your mom is at the other and we can communicate back and forth.
yeah, sorry, I'm just reading Brian's comment. Doesn't have an inner monologue.
No, when he thinks to himself, he sees the words, no voice. So do you actually see it like it's coming off a typewriter or a computer, or do you just hear the word, like you know there's words there? Ryan, what are you agreeing to? That you have the inner voice or you don't?
No, he doesn't.
Ryan?
Oh, Ryan. Sorry, I thought you
Yeah.
said Ryan.
Yeah, it's so interesting. We're all wired
So differently.
differently, yet the same. Like we all have that same blueprint, but the wiring is completely different.
I think that's one of the reasons I'm so interested in psychology, just people's brains and how they work and yeah.
So Ryan gets the inner rush, and Brian just knows the words are there.
Huh.
He has the voice. Ryan has the voice. Yeah, I think, this would be a good question to ask a group of people and to find out what exactly. Be a good
Brian,
research project.
it would be. I'm just curious, Brian, do you overthink? Because one of the things in the video that I watched with this girl with no inner voice was when she gets anxious, it's just a feeling in her body. She doesn't overthink or replay scenarios in her head.
While Brian responds, Grandma said she can't see words and has no voice, but she knows in her mind. So, Mom, you don't hear yourself talking to yourself in your head? Brian doesn't hear a voice. He just feels the words. Does that make sense? It does make sense. I don't get it because I hear the voice, yet everyone's telepathic. So I get it. It makes sense. That's not how I'm wired. That's not how I work. What about you, Bean?
So, Brian, when you read a sentence, you don't hear a voice in your head.
Oh, hi, Christine. Thanks for joining us. Isn't that so weird?
Yeah.
So the topic right now, for those of you just joining us, is when you're thinking, do you hear your own voice in your head, or do you just know what you're thinking? Like it's just something you know, but there's no voice there talking to you.
Yeah. Some people have an inner monologue and some people don't, and we're just breaking it down right now.
I definitely do.
I do. It drives me crazy sometimes.
Yeah, Grandma doesn't. She has no voice. Huh. Like,
that's crazy, Brian. I'm probably gonna bombard you with a bunch of questions now.
I know, that's what I'm thinking, because my inner voice right now is losing its mind in my head.
Yeah.
Because that's the only voice I hear in my head. Like when I'm thinking.
Can't shut it off.
You can't?
No.
No, neither can I. And when I'm frustrated or stressed out, it just goes faster. And then I have like 15 different scenarios going on with this voice going on in each one. And it's
my voice in my head has different opinions too.
Yes, that's what I just meant. Like different scenarios and stuff.
Yeah.
Does it argue with itself?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Like I can fight any side of a scenario. I should be a lawyer.
I created a beast.
That's so funny.
And grandma doesn't have it. So where does it come from then? Like when you think, do you actually hear your voice or just a generic voice? Huh,
It's
is
my
it
voice.
your voice? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my voice in my head.
Sometimes I think in other people's voices. I'll think in your voice sometimes.
Yes. I was just going to say, and sometimes the voice, when I know it's not mine, but it's there, it's like entelechy, which is future to present me. And it's like this, because you know how when you think back to when you were little, you have your little bean voice. Now you have your present bean voice, and your future bean voice is going to be a little bit different because it's older.
Yeah.
So there's like older me in there talking.
I hear your voice a lot. And I have this friend from Australia here in Nelson, and for some reason the other day I was thinking in her accent.
Yeah, I do that too. And like if, for example, the one that comes to mind for me, I'm your mom, so you hear my voice. When sometimes I hear grandma's voice.
I didn't understand what you just said. It was crackly.
Oh, I said that you know how sometimes you hear my voice?
Yep.
Sometimes I hear grandma's voice.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so that brings me to another topic. Do you ever feel like you're looking out of someone else's eyes?
Yeah, well, not visually looking through someone else's eyes, but I'll put myself in their scenario a lot and try to feel and understand and feel what they're feeling.
No, I mean like it's as if you take on that person and you become them for a moment and you see the world through their eyes and feel everything that they're feeling, what they're going through emotionally, mentally, physically.
Not exactly, I don't think,
Mm.
but that sounds really interesting. We're going to have to talk about that more on our next tea.
Yeah.
And really get into depth with that stuff. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's so
Grandma
many.
said sometimes I might be sending you thoughts.
That's true. She might be. And that
Yeah.
could be the same for you. Like sometimes it could be me sending you thoughts as well or thinking about you. Brian, okay, so I can make myself hear my voice when I want to, but when I'm at work or whatever, I just feel my thought. I don't hear my voice. Messed up, eh?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think sometimes maybe I don't always hear my own voice in my head if I'm just having like quick thoughts. But most of the time like a lot of times I'm like overthinking or laying in bed and I'm just talking to myself nonstop in my head.
I think I always hear mine. I'm going to feel into that though and pay attention because I think mine is always, I think I'm always turned on. I don't think, well, as Brian says, when he tells me to turn my brain off at night, I'm like, it is off. Like, don't you, what do you mean turn it off? This is as off as it gets.
Yeah.
Because mine, like my big thing, and I always go back to this example is, how do you know a fork's a fork and not a spoon? Who told you it was a fork and how do you know they were right?
Yeah.
Or if
I
somebody
used to
tells,
have thoughts like that a lot when I was like 3 years old. I remember just thinking, how do we know that's a cupboard? Who named it that? Like just having like weird, like what is that word? Existential, whatever. Thought.
extrasensory? I don't know.
No, but yeah, I remember having thoughts like that a lot when I was super young. So
Good night, Mom. Have a good night.
good night.
Um, or if a word is spelled wrong in the dictionary, how do you know it's spelled wrong? Hmm?
Yeah.
Before I forget, I'm enjoying my tea tonight from Hayward's Eclectic from Melissa. So I will put
Yes.
all of her contact information in the comments. Callista, you had some of Melissa's tea while you were here as well. Isn't it phenomenal?
It is. And thank you, Brian. Existential is the word.
Existential. Yes. What did I say? Extential.
No, you said something else, but
I don't know. I can't remember. See, I don't have that photogenic mind anymore.
yeah,
Or photographic.
photographic.
See?
It'd be interesting to have a photo.
Graphic?
No,
Photogenic? So you can
photogenic
take
mind.
pictures? Pardon?
I said photogenic mind. That'd be interesting.
I don't know if there's. And yeah, Callista drank all my tea.
Yeah, I did.
Anywho, is there anything else you. Oh, before we go, I must ask, have you ever remembered something you didn't know you forgot?
Yep.
What?
I don't want to get into it right now. Maybe next time.
Okay.
But I have, and it's super weird.
Sometimes it's not an awesome feeling because sometimes it's something that you're not happy about remembering, but it still makes sense. And other times it's amazing. Like that whole comment came from me waking up in the middle of the night one day and remembering that I used to astral travel. That was the most amazing memory to this date that I ever forgot that I remembered.
Yeah, it's always nice remembering something that you didn't know you forgot. I mean, other times it's not nice, but it's quite interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
So on that note, is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
Just a reminder to everybody that to manifest put out into this world what you want to manifest back, because from personal experience lately, it's been doing me very good. So I want you guys to have that experience as well.
Well, thank you for filling in tonight and being my guest. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone else for joining me. You could be anywhere tonight doing anything, and you chose to be here with us. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Much love. Namaste.
Good night.